So this is the first of many updated build guides on this channel. Take note that Warframes will not be in any particular order for series. For this video, we will be talking about Baruuk. I will showcase 3 build variants that you can use for any high-level missions, especially in Steel Path hard mode. All of them are Helminth variants, but all of them have the same builds. In fact, you can use the build I'm going to show you with a non-Helminth variant. Also, I will showcase something different for this Baruuk video. This frame has so much power, that it gets wasted in just mass murdering dumb artificial intelligence. This is why I decided to create a farming setup which works in a real mission. So that's all the things you can get from watching this video. Sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy it. Now let us begin. The first build variant that you are seeing is a Warcry Baruuk, and I have featured this already in my past video. Until now, I'm still using this setup since it allows me to min-max the damage output of his Serene Storm ability. The build I'm using for Baruuk, or should I say, the universal build I'm using, no matter what subsumed ability I'm using, is a combination of high power strength, decent range, the reactive storm augment, and these 2 umbral mods. This is not a 14 former build, and you can achieve this with just a couple of V polarities, 1 dash, and 1 former intended for the augment. Or, if you have the umbral former, then you can slap it in your Baruuk if you please. Take note that without the Helminth system, you can still use this build, but honestly, his first ability will just be a waste since it won't be of any use with this kind of mod setup. If you have the option to put a subsumed ability, then I highly advise replacing his first ability. Now, because of the speed bonus of Warcry, we can optimize our build for more damage. This is why I decided to add Arcane Fury on the setup instead of the usual Arcane Strike. Also, you can put a lot of damage mods in his Desert Wind because the attack speed bonus is covered by the Warcry ability. By the way, you can use Condition Overload in Baruuk's Desert Wind, but you need to hit the enemies with your fist to somehow gain the bonus damage from the mods. The waves don't gain any bonus damage from Condition Overload, which is why I prefer Primed Pressure Point. Last but least, if you are bothered with a slow starting attack speed, then you can always replace Gladiator mod with Berserker. The best part of a Warcry Baruuk is that you can cast Warcry once, and maintain it with Eternal War. You might be bothered about the duration of this build, but you can maintain the bonus speed and armor buff because of how insane the damage that Baruuk can deal with a reactive storm build. It's very good since the build does not have high energy to spam abilities, but admittedly, I did put some subsumed abilities which requires constant energy to cast while using the same mod setup. The first one was a Pillage Baruuk, which you can see on a separate video at the end of this guide. It's good, but Pillage becomes a situational use for this mod setup since we don't have the luxury of putting Primed Flow in the build. I'm not saying you can, and you can always opt out for less power strength to equip Primed Flow, but high power strength Baruuk is so good that I can't get by without having 300 plus power strength in my build. So basically, the Pillager Baruuk build is the same mod setup as I've shown earlier. The only difference is, I removed the Eternal War augment, and replace it with Augur Reach. If you don't like Pillage, then there's another option in the form of Ember's Fire Blast. It's an alternative for Pillage if you are more inclined to health. What are you trying to say, squad leader? Fire Blast can also strip armor, and can replenish your health with the Healing Flame augment. You can use this to get rid of any energy problem, but using either Hunter Adrenaline or Rage in your build. However, you will sacrifice some power strength in the process. Also, this would just be a situational build, and you can only use Healing Flames a couple of times because of limited energy. If you want to make this build work out for your playstyle, then I'm suggesting that you remove Adaptation and place Primed Flow in here. This will lower the toughness of Baruuk, but the 90% damage reduction from your Desolate Hands, and as well as Serene Storm, is enough to make a Healing Flame build reliable for survivability. Lastly, if you think power strength is better compared to energy replenish mods, then I highly advise that you use both Arcane Energize and Zenurix Energizing Dash to help you maintain energy to recast both Desolate Hands and Fire Blast. In reality, you won't be relying on lull to erode your restraint bar in Steel Path missions, especially in Endless Survival. You would only need it at the start of the mission to erode your restraint bar, then maintain it with the constant cast of Desolate Hands. You need to do this since you will need at least 9 daggers to keep that 90% damage reduction, and with the range I have for my build, you will lose some daggers while fighting in mid-range. Both Arcane Energize and Energizing Dash are enough to keep and maintain sufficient energy to cast both abilities, and even cast Lull. The last build variant is my favorite, and it makes Baruuk very useful. Like I've said earlier, I want to put all that power strength that Baruuk has to good use, and the best way to do this is to replace his first ability with Atlas Petrify. Because of how high the power strength of our Baruuk build, we can ramp up the loot chance of the Orgaze augment to 81%, but squad leader, Petrify will only be a situational cast since you lack high energy. Well, not exactly. Remember that we are talking about an ability that allows us to gain extra loot. This means killing petrified enemies will somehow drop lots of energy orbs and allow us to keep on casting the ability whenever we need it. Also, Petrify works well with Baruuk's Serene Storm since the ability to turn enemies into stone will gain inflict damage vulnerability. In case you don't know, damage vulnerability works by reducing resistances by -50%, up to -100%. This is additive with existing values. For example, cloned flesh is 75% weak to viral and 50% resistant to gas. Once petrified, it becomes 100% weak to viral and 0% resistant, plus 0% to gas, gaining a 14.3% increase in viral damage, and a 100% increase in gas damage. I'm not saying that Baruuk will be the best farmer frame in the game once you infuse it with Atlas Petrify, but this will turn all those power strengths into something useful. You will not just murder enemies easily in Steel Path, but you can also get more loot in the process. It makes Baruuk fun and useful in terms of farming resources and other stuff in the Origin system, but like I've said, he will not be the best farmer frame since Necros and other loot frames exist. That's all about it, lads. I hope that you find this video informative. Let me know in the comments section what is your favorite Baruuk build among the variants I've shown in this video. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and share the video. Thank you so much for watching. Squad leader signing off.
This is the future. Human error. Evolution. This is the future. Evolution.